Hey everyone. So these next sort of 2 to 3 videos, I think it might be 3 videos in total, but yeah, we've got this video which is the wiring today, we've got the helicoil being put in, that'll be next week's video, and then as well next week will be the starting of the CX. So the videos are broken up into 3 parts, and we are going to be going back. So as you may have seen from the bike shed show, the bike was complete, but we are kind of going back with my pre-recorded stuff now, only because, as I mentioned before, I didn't have time to edit the videos. Today's video I'm going to show you is the wiring of the actual CX itself. It's connecting all the major parts, everything that's needed to get the bike going. The controls and the lights I'm leaving off until obviously a few weeks in advance from this time now. Only because for the show itself I really didn't see a need of getting the indicators on. I didn't like them. I'm not particularly overjoyed with having indicators on a bike, probably because I'm from a motocross background. I prefer bikes without lights on. But to get it past the MOT, I know you can sometimes get away without turn signals, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't like the thought of riding on these UK roads without turn signals. Drives around here really don't pay that much attention, but we're kind of not that familiar with bikes as such. As for peace of mind and for safety, I'm going to be putting turn signals and all sorts onto my bike, and also number plates as well. That is a must, unfortunately. But for today, let's go back to that video of setting up the bike so it can actually function. Right, so I've now relocated the fuse box to the back of the bike. The wires are there. I haven't soldered the wires yet. What I've done is I've just taped them end to end with extra slack, more slack than I actually need. That way I can cut them down to size once I've actually figured out my path. But that's kind of like the best way for me to work. I can then measure everything, see where everything goes. The next job I have here is to relocate this ignition switch, this key barrel I should say, not ignition switch, key barrel. This needs to go back, and this is being held there by one wire. Let's cut that. Come back to it in a minute. So now what I'm going to do is reconnect that wire that I've just cut. Well, just attach it. I'm not going to solder it just yet, as I've said. I'm not soldering anything just yet. I just want to lay out where everything goes. Let's give that way more slack than we need. Right, so I've got all these marked now, IG, BAT to MG, and I've also attached it on here. So this is the starter ignition side of things, along with the front light. So the front light goes on and off with this here. Now actually that does need to be on the other side, come to think of it, because that's where the starter switch is. No worries, we can swap that over. It's only for reference at the moment. I know that's at the front of the bike, so that's where it needs to be. Right, so what we've got now is everything wired up. So we've got the entire ignition system, if you want to kind of call it all that in one. We've got the entire ignition system all hooked up, all wired up. The only things remaining now, so we've got the headlights wired up. We've got these little cables here, so these are going up to the dials itself. The dials itself, because they are quite nice dials. Sorry, I'm eating sweets at the same time. Because they are quite nice dials, I'm going to leave that for another video as well. I think that will also help people who buy this particular dial to know how to set it up as well, because it is different. So I thought that video will be quite nice to put up on its own. We have also got the indicators. So the indicators themselves aren't wired up at the moment. You can see that they're missing from here. Wrap it all up. We can hide these for the time being, and then we can sort out the indicators at a later date after the bike shed. But for the time being, the engine's all hooked up, ready to start. Let's clean all this up. You can also see that my welds around here, so I've got these little sleeves, these heat shrink sleeves, so I need to apply heat onto those and shrink them all and just make a neat little job of it all. Let's do that. So I just wanted to add, yes, I am actually using electrical tape to wrap around the wires. If I was creating an original harness from scratch, then I could have obviously slipped a heat shrink sleeve over all of it and then shrunk it all over. Because it's so complicated and there's little bits sticking out here and there and there's so much to do, I'm just going to go for this option. That's pretty much done. As I mentioned, we have a few rogue wires. These are all to do the lights, but you know what, I'm probably going to make a lot of these redundant. So we have the front brake here, clutch switch, what else? So this actually goes back to the relay, and then obviously that goes to the switch, and then this to the lights up in the dials. So I'll connect that up later. These are the dials here. Your switches, everything's on. I have the starter switch wired up. That is going through this here now. All done. So for the purpose of the bike shed, we'll just hide all that, and then that's it. Next on my list is connect the battery up. And also this is a new feature as well. So the key barrel was sort of behind this direction here. After fitting the pods on, I realised that obviously the key barrel wouldn't go as well, so I've relocated it to just here now. Some quick sort of last minute changes to it, but it is now secure, it is not going anywhere. So as you saw it, the bike was then switching on. I've not started it yet on that particular video. That video will come a bit later. That is a joy to watch. But as you can see, the bike was at a stage where I was happy with to take it to the bike shed show. As I mentioned, coming up next week will be the fitting of the helicoil in the rocker cover of the CX500. And as well as starting the bike, and then we can get back to normality, get back to the real time work on the CB750, the GS550. That is needing a bit of care. I'm looking at it now, it's looking pretty sorry at the moment, but we have got all the things to actually get that running as well and on the road. Exhaust straps, new exhausts for it, and also yeah, the CB750 is going to look amazing. The powder coating on that looks super sweet. So we've got all that to come. So if you like what you see, and if you want to stay up to date with this channel, and you know what, the CX is probably going to be on the road doing motor vlogs before the GS. I've got a feeling, I've got a strong feeling about that. But that is going to be fun on the CX. If you want to stay up to date with these three channels, then subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, and as well, if you want to buy one of these t-shirts or many more, there's so many styles up there, head to featherboltindustries.com, and I'll also be unveiling the winner of the comment section this Friday. It might be a live stream. If I do a live stream, it will be at 8 PM GMT time, UK time, or if not, I might just post a video up just saying who's won. Anyway, I will do that. I will be announcing that on Friday, but until then, stay safe, happy riding, and I'll see you then.